Welcome to Christmas Crafts with Craftin Cathy. I'm Craftin Cathy. This year we're going to be making an ornament for your Christmas tree. To design your Christmas ornament this year, you'll need some glitter, ribbon, holiday colored paints, 2 small cups, torn up newspaper, PVA glue, and lots of it, heavy duty scissors, different sized paint brushes, 2 balloons of the same size, and Vaseline. This is the craft we'll be making today, an ornament that opens up to reveal treats inside. The first step in making your Christmas ornament is to take one of the small balloons and spread Vaseline over the balloon so that when you put your PVA glue on and your torn up pieces of newspaper, they don't stick to the balloon when it's time to remove the balloon at the end.
This is how you apply the Vaseline to the balloon. Take a dollop of Vaseline out of the jar and start spreading it all over the balloon, about halfway or about 3/4 of the way up the balloon toward the top. Repeat this step for the other balloon you've made.
When you're ready to apply your PVA glue, you won't need the Vaseline for a while until you're ready to do your next balloon. To apply the PVA glue, take a big thick paintbrush and apply it all around the balloon where you put the Vaseline on. Dip your big thick paintbrush into the PVA glue and really spread the PVA glue on in a nice covered way so that there aren't any, try not to have any gaps when you apply the newspaper. This will just be the first layer of the newspaper and PVA glue combo, but eventually you'll have 3 layers all together. When you've covered the bottom part of the balloon with the PVA glue and got a pretty even line around the top, then you can start applying your torn pieces of newspaper around in an even layer. Take your first piece of newspaper and just apply it at the top of the line of PVA glue. And then keep repeating this process until you go all the way around the top. After you complete that layer, then you'll just keep working your way down the balloon. What you want to do next, after you've put all of your little torn up pieces of newspaper on about half of your balloon, is apply another layer of PVA glue to try to adhere those newspaper pieces together as best as possible.
Now we're ready to apply the next layer of glue. Be generous with the PVA glue and spread it all around where the newspaper lies.
There we go. That layer of glue might take you a little while, but just be patient. It'll be worth it in the end. Now, next we have our second layer of newspaper. We're just about halfway through making this first balloon. Here we go with our next layer of newspaper. You apply it just in the same way as you did the last. Right on that nice thick sticky PVA glue. And you wrap it all the way around. Try not to overlap the newspapers too much because you'll have trouble putting the layer of glue on. It will get very thick and some of it might drop off. Now that you've put your second layer of newspaper on, it's time to apply that next layer of PVA glue. Now I've just finished applying my next layer of PVA glue, and after checking the instructions very carefully, I realized that you don't need just 3 layers of newspaper, but rather 6. Okay, so I'm going to do my next layer of newspaper, which will just be my 3rd, and then I need to do 3 more after that. So I'm going to get started on that right now, and then after that I have the next balloon to do as well. When both of your balloons are done with their 6 layers of newspaper and 1 final layer of PVA glue, then you can set the balloons into their cups and leave them to dry for 1 to 2 days. Today we'll be finishing our ornaments and showing you how to trim down the pots that we made yesterday and how to paint and decorate them as well. The next step in making your ornament is to remove the balloon from inside the pot. Mine have been resting for a day, and it looks like and feels like they're hard enough now for the ornaments. So you need to pop the balloon inside the pot. Let me get this situated. Now, one of these pots will be the base of the ornament, and the other one will serve as a lid. There we go. Whoopsie daisy. Okay. That one fell over. That's okay. But luckily, I laid down some paper towels in case that happened, so nothing got onto the tablecloth. Oh, you'll find that this might be really sticky and gloopy from the Vaseline that you put on yesterday. The next step in making your ornament is to trim down the tops so they don't have jagged edges. And one of the pots you'll be trimming down a little more than the other because it will serve as, like I said, the lid. So it will need to be a little wider than the other one to fit on top, because right now it's taking on kind of a snowman effect, and that's not what we're going for. So we'll start trimming down one of our pots. So I'm just going to make a small cut at the top and then try to go around the pot as straight as possible. Now, when you're ready to cut the lid, you'll need to make a deeper cut at first and then trim around in the same way in an even fashion so that it will fit on top of the base pot.
On this next step, you'll be making the lid, so this requires cutting down a little bit deeper than you did last time, maybe about 1 inch to 2 inches. Then, after you make that first deep cut, you will continue around the lid until you've made a complete cut all the way around.
So now you'll have a base pot and a lid to work with. And if you fit them together, just like so, it should resemble an ornament. Now, the next part of the craft is really fun, at least my favorite part, and that's the painting part. Now, in my little tray, I took 1 part PVA glue to 2 parts green paint. You could use any color of paint, and then I mixed them together for the ornament. PVA glue, surprisingly, doesn't change the color of the paint that much. Now, you might need to apply, see this part here is drying and this is fresh, so you might need to apply 2 coats of paint to cover up all the newspaper print. The next step to finishing your ornament, and it's actually the second step to the end, we're almost there, is to make a small hole in the top of each of the domes that you've created. As you can see also, the painting is finally done with my ornaments. Okay, so this is what we need to do. Just find the middle, about the middle, can be approximate, and just make a small hole. It might be kind of hard, you might have to twist a few times because of the many layers of newspaper and also the PVA glue. It's very tough, but there we go. So there's the hole in that one. And then this one, it doesn't have to be pretty because this is just going to be the hole that the ribbon goes through that will attach the ornament to your Christmas tree. And here we can go with this one. That looks like about the middle. Just twist and turn, applying pressure the whole time. And then it should, there we go. The last thing you need to do is cut your ribbon. Now in the directions, let me double check. Yep, it says 60 centimeters of ribbon. So let's cut here, there's 40, wrap it around, 20. Okay, so we'll cut our 60 centimeters of ribbon, and that should be enough. What you need to do with your ribbon is match up the ends just like that, and you need to tie the ends into a little knot. This is the knot that's going to go beneath the ornament. And if your ends are a little frayed like that, you can trim them up later and make them look a little nicer. Now, this is the tricky bit. You need to put this end of the tied ribbon up through the bottom of the ornament and then all the way through the top, so that when it comes out, you can hold it by this part and hang this on your Christmas tree. So this is the bottom of my ornament, and I'm going to force this through the hole. I'm going to use the end of my paintbrush to kind of push it through. There we go. And then pull it through the other side, all the way up until it reaches that handy knot. And then I'm going to force it through the top of the ornament. Again, using the end of my paintbrush, because it is a tiny hole for fingers to push through. And then carefully pull that through. And then the ornament should fit together with the top and the bottom, just like that. Although this ornament will look great hanging on any Christmas tree, what's special about this ornament is it opens up, and this is where you can hide special treats for whomever you give this ornament to as a gift. So you can take your favorite treats or candy or sweets and hide them inside. I've got some packs of Haribos to hide inside. And fill that up. You could use any candy that you want, or maybe a special gift that you want, maybe some jewelry. And you can hide it in that ornament. So your family or friends will think that they're receiving a handmade ornament, but they won't just be getting that. They'll also be getting a surprise inside. This is our homemade ornament and Craftin Cathy's Christmas craft for 2014.